Channel message.
They did not abandon you. They left. And that distinction matters more than you wanted to. Leaving is an act of free will. Abandonment is neglect, desertion, and withholding of love, guidance, protection, and care where those things were actually owed. The person who walked away from abuse did not abandon you. They exercised the same free will you exercised every time you chose chaos over honesty, cruelty over accountability, ego over righteousness, and control over love. You use your freedom to wound. They use theirs to go. That is not the same thing. You understand? You did not get to misuse somebody else's abandonment wound as a leash and call it love. You do not get to study what broke them before and then try to build a new prison out of the same pain and act shocked when they refuse to live there. That is where your arrogance showed itself. You really thought surviving one abuser meant they were supposed to stay and survive another? You really thought a person who had already learned how to crawl out of wreckage would look at your behavior and decide to make it a home? Why? Because you thought you were special. Because you thought your title would excuse your pattern. Because you thought your role would shield you from consequence. Because you thought once somebody loved you, they were no longer allowed to leave? No. They left one hell already. Why would they sign up for another? Especially after they told you they knew how to heal. Especially after they showed you they knew what survival costs. Especially after it became clear that what you were offering was not partnership, but repetition. That is a part you still do not understand. The person who leaves abuse is not abandoning the abuser. They are refusing reenactment. They are refusing to relive what almost killed them. They are refusing to hand their nervous system, spirit, and future over to somebody who thinks their pain is reusable. They are refusing to let an old wound become the blueprint for a new sentence. You keep calling it abandonment because the word makes you sound injured, like you're a victim. Leaving sounds different. Leaving puts responsibility back where it belongs. Because the truth is, they did not leave love, right? They left humiliation. They left chaos. They left manipulation. They left disrespect. They left a person who wanted the benefits of closeness without the discipline required to be safe. That is not victimhood on your part. That is consequence. And the deeper abandonment you keep trying to pin on them was never theirs to begin with. The people who abandoned you were the ones who failed to raise you in truth. The ones who failed to correct you. The ones who failed to teach you reverence, restraint, accountability, love, and right order. The ones who handed you distortion and called it normal. The ones who let you grow into somebody who wounds people and then feels persecuted when they leave. That is abandonment. Abandonment is being left without guidance, without protection, without real love, without moral formation, with anybody stopping you from becoming what you became. That was the abandonment. But the person who left you did something else entirely. They chose themselves. They chose breath. They chose peace. They chose not to remain attached to an embarrassment calling itself a partner. They chose not to drag a ball and chain behind them just because it became wrapped in tradition, title, or time served. That was not abandonment. That was discernment finally taking the wheel. So no, you're not a victim of somebody else's departure. You are the result of what made departure necessary. They did not abandon you. They recognized you, and then they left.
End of message.